Selected quotations. OF. His Imperial Majesty. Emperor Haile Selassie I. To Jamaica, W.I. Ras Ravanai Ras Flako Tafari. HIM Emperor Haile Selassie I. Wise Mind Publications. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, It is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. Revelation 21 v 5-7. Wise Mind Publications. And we know we shall win, as we are confident in the victory of good over evil. His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I the First. Wise Mind Publications. By what means can man's achievements in this world be best remembered? Many people believe that this could be done by the erection of physical and material structures, others believe that their works are in themselves lasting monuments. We, for our part, think that man's contributions, which live to influence the life and progress of posterity, are the most permanent monuments that can ever be erected. Laying Foundation Stone of Haile Selassie I University November 7, 1949. Knowledge paves the way to love, and love in its turn fosters understanding, and leads one along the path of great common achievements. Opens University College of Addis Ababa, UCAA, February 27, 1951. From the beginnings of recorded history, right up to the Middle Ages, and even as late as the beginnings of the industrial age in which we live, agriculture has always constituted the fundamental source of wealth for the human race. A country and people that become self-sufficient by the development of agriculture can look forward with confidence of the future. Agriculture is not only the chief among those fundamental and ancient tasks which have been essential to the survival of mankind, but also ranks first among the prerequisites to industrial and other developments. Only when a solid agricultural base has been laid for our country's commercial and industrial growth can we ensure the attainment of the ultimate goal of our development program, namely, a high standard of living for our people. Commerce and industry, being concerned in the main with production and distribution, can only develop and profit from existing resources, but cannot actually create things which did not exist before. Agriculture College, graduation January 16, 1958. Wise Mind Publications. It is, therefore, your duty to exercise lifelong vigilance to ensure that the fruits of your labors are worthy of the efforts spent on your education. If you, whose minds have been matured by education and to whom the torch of knowledge has been handed, fail to make a significant contribution to the welfare of your country, your responsibility shall be great indeed. In order faithfully to discharge this heavy responsibility, you must be men who love your nation and people, men of integrity and clear conscience, combining patience and humility. Be unswerving in your loyalty to your country which has given you so much and to which so much is due. Place your faith and trust in Almighty God, for, without His assistance and guidance, man is but a weak and puny creature. Engineering College, graduation July 17, 1958. Unless the people benefit through work, our efforts and thoughts will have been in vain. They will have also violated the wish of the Almighty that by one's toil he must earn his living. Much cannot be accomplished in the pursuit of spiritual advancement, let alone that of material gains, without labor. Learn. Work. We have established community education so that both the youth and the adult may learn. Education and the quest for knowledge stop only at the grave. Public Health, graduation, Gondar May 18, 1959. Leaders are people who raise the standards by which they judge themselves and by which they are willing to be judged. The goal chosen, the objective selected, the requirements imposed, are not merely for their followers alone. They develop with consummate energy and devotion their own skill and knowledge in order to reach the standards they themselves have set. This wholehearted acceptance of the demands imposed by ever higher standards is the basis of all human progress. A love of high quality, we must remember, is essential in a leader. University College of Addis Ababa, 6th graduation July 17, 1959. Wise Mind Publications. Wise Mind Publications. Wise Mind Publications. As you advance in your profession, the value of thus combining ancient and modern skills will be apparent to you. July 17, 1958. We remain persuaded that in our efforts to scatter the cloud which rim the horizon of our future, success must come, if only because failure is unthinkable. Let us be true to what we believe, that our beliefs may serve and honor us. If we succeed in the task which lies before us, our names will be remembered and our deeds recalled by those who follow us. If we fail, history will puzzle at our failures and mourn what was lost. May 25, 1963. If we permit ourselves to be tempted by narrow self-interest and vain ambition, if we barter ourselves for long-term advantage, who will speak when we claim to speak for conscience, and who will that our words deserve to be headed? If we compromise when no honorable compromise is possible, our influence will be sadly diminished and our prestige woefully prejudiced and weakened. Immense are the challenges that lie ahead, they shall be conquered, and abundant are the opportunities that awaits us, they shall not be wasted. So long as the spirit of Africa prevails and stir within us, so long as we continue to think and work and act within the African context which we have created, imbued by the African atmosphere which surrounds and pervades us, we are confident that the goals we seek shall be attained. We have created this spirit, it is our child. When semantics are stripped away, there is little argument among us. We are determined to create a union of Africans. In a real sense, our continent is unmade, it still awaits creation and its creators. We are convinced that it is in our search for African unity that we shall discover the solutions to the vexing problems that confronts us. Neocolonialism today takes two forms, economic and political. We recognize that economic dominance is not only often the more difficult to eliminate, but often serves as the entering edge for political domination. What we seek to create is flexible, not non-flexible inflexible, a moral force to be used for world peace, for economic development, for the benefit of humanity. We cannot impose our views by force, we have only the power of moral persuasion. This is our strength, and a great strength, if we will but use it. Wise Mind Publications. We know that as long as there are men who believe that one race is superior to the other, and that they can lead the destinies of other men by any means, there shall be no peace. Now is the time for them to prove themselves worthy of their name, freedom fighters. Now is the time for them to commit themselves to the motto of a freedom fighter. Give me liberty or give me death. There is no safer anchorage for our learning, our lives, and our public actions than that provided by divine teachings coupled with the best in human understanding. In order to achieve this common goal of strength through progress, it becomes necessary for us to abandon once and for all petty prejudices and artificial barriers that tend to perpetuate a state of division and confusion between our countries. Let us therefore leave aside all misguided aims and groundless ambitions that can only lead us into wasteful and time-consuming conflicts. February 20, 1964. It is not the strength or the power or the determination of those that oppose us that will delay success in this battle, but the weakness in our unity. It is important to remember that leader does not mean domination. A leader will always be willing to take counsel from his people, but will often act on what his own mind tells him is right. July 17, 1959. Leaders have to submit themselves to a striker self-discipline and develop a more exemplary moral character than is expected of others. To be first in place, one has to be first in merit as well. To embark successfully on a career involving leadership demands a courageous and demanding spirit. Once a person has decided upon his life work and is assured that in doing the work for which he is best endowed and equipped, he is filling a vital need, what he then needs is faith and integrity, coupled with a courageous spirit, so that he no longer preferring himself to the fulfillment of his task, he may address himself to the problems he must solve in order to be effective. Discipline of the mind is a basic ingredient of genuine morality and therefore of spiritual strength. December 1, 1961. Wise Mind Publications. Man cannot live by bread alone. Man, after all, he is composed of intellect and soul. Therefore education in general and higher education in particular must aim to provide, beyond the physical, food for the intellect and soul. September 23, 1963. The words, "Learn to obey that you may learn to command," must be engraved in your hearts. Unless one is faithful, no one will trust him. October 6, 1958. Any one of you who may wish to profit himself alone from the knowledge given him rather than serve others through knowledge he has gained from learning, is betraying knowledge, rendering it worthless. A man's happiness is to make his brother happy and to serve his country. Thus, it is possible to justify for knowledge its high and deserved place. For knowledge is power, if is not applied properly to create, let there be no doubt it will destroy. January 8, 1951. Each era, for those who lived in it, has doubtless been stimulating and exciting. But no one can deny that the years ahead hold prospects and challenges of a magnitude which have confronted few eras indeed. The problems to be faced are, admittedly, also imposing, but with energy, dedication, and determination, these will be overcome, and the rewards will be correspondingly enhanced and enriched. Important utterances of HIM, page 139. It is important to remember that a big edifice needs a strong foundation. A work that takes 3 or 4 years cannot be completed in a few days. One who undertakes any venture is not able to accomplish it alone. Unless one is assisted by others, the effort will end up in mere wishful thinking. This would indeed be a waste of time. You must try to learn more from men of experience and apply the same in the work presently underway and that lying still ahead. It is with this objective in mind that we expanded the education system at home and sent students abroad for further training. We are not strangers to what has been accomplished in the world. We are only trying to adapt ourselves to it. It is also our duty to see to it that everything is done well, lest the future generations blame us. Praise without any evidence of deed is of no value either to the giver or to the recipient. Important utterances of HIM, page 40. The tide that is sweeping Africa cannot be stayed. No force on earth is great enough to halt or reverse the trend. Its march is as relentless and inexorable as the passage of time. HIM Emperor Haile Selassie I. April 18, 1960. Wise Mind Publications. 1. Growth and development can only be attained through proper planning, diligence, and the will to work. It is when guided by this spirit that a nation can overcome its shortcomings and carry itself to greater heights. We in Ethiopia should be guided in this same spirit so that we can realize the national goals, which we have set for ourselves to accomplish in the interest and for the well-being of our country. Important utterances of HIM, page 338, Q. Perseverance. 2. Economic and social growth is the laborious and slow process. Development is the accumulated result of intensive long-term efforts. It is not enough that the nation desired development and economic maturity, any more than a child, in wishing, becomes a man. Time is required, and experience, and trial and error. The processes and requirements of nature cannot be ignored or is needed. The child must first crawl, then walk, before it can run. So, also, most a nation progress through the successive stages of growth before the stage is reached where rapid and ever acceleration development is possible. Important utterances of HIM, page 138. 3. In this great mission we should not falter nor be half-hearted, because it is through our combined efforts that we can build a strong base and succeed in making a breakthrough at all levels of our development. It is natural if we are met with setbacks, but if we persevere and look to the future with confidence and hope, we shall succeed. We should not forget that, JH's blessings and support can be had and that outside help will be forthcoming only if we help ourselves. We therefore have to be steadfast to our national ideals and objectives and be able to mobilize our energies for their accomplishment. For in unity of purpose and cooperation there is a lot that we can do to vouchsafe our country's continued progress and prosperity. Important utterances of HIM, page 338. 4. Progress demands far-sightedness, diligence, sound judgment, and unflinching dedication to hard work. Important utterances of HIM, page 210. 5. To sustain oneself and to contribute his share to the well-being of his fellow man and society, man has to work with resolution and industry. One can only reap what one has sown. Important utterances of HIM, page 335. 6. We remain persuaded that in our efforts to scatter the clouds which rim the horizon of our future, success must come, if only because failure is unthinkable. Patience and grim determination are required, and faith in the guidance of Almighty Selassie I. Important utterances of HIM, page 362. Wise Mind Publications. 1. If we permit ourselves to be tempted by narrow self-interest and vain ambition, if we barter our beliefs for short-term advantage, who will listen when we claim to speak for conscience, and who will contend that our words deserve to be heeded? We must speak out on major world issues, courageously, openly and honestly, and in blunt terms of right and wrong. If we yield to blandishments or threats, if we compromise when no honorable compromise is possible, our influence will be sadly diminished and our prestige woefully prejudiced and weak-kneed. Let us not deny our ideals or sacrifice our right to stand as the champions of the poor, the ignorant, and the oppressed everywhere. The act by which we live and the attitudes by which we act must be clear beyond question. Principles alone can endow our deeds with force and meaning. Let us be true to what we believe, that our belief may serve and honor us. Important utterances of HIM. Pages 360 to 361. 2. What we seek to create is flexible, not inflexible, a moral force to be used for world peace, for economic development, for the benefit of humanity. We cannot impose our views by force. We have only the power of moral persuasion. This is our strength, and a great strength, if we will but use it. Important utterances of HIM, page 378. 3. What is needed, above all, is patience which accepts delays, while striving to overcome them, and tolerance which comprehends our weaknesses, our selfish ambitions, and our 1. The elders of our community should bear in mind that they are the custodians of the customs and traditions of our society, of which the students should be mindful in addition to their modern education. Important utterances of HIM. Pages 190 to 191. 1. There is nothing as precious to man as a sound mind and a sound body. And it is essential that the physical well-being of our people merits as much attention as its spiritual welfare. Important utterances of HIM, page 276. 2. Good health is not only necessary for the well-being and happiness of man, but is also a fundamental prerequisite for the progress and prosperity of the nation. Just as education ensures promotion of man's knowledge in all fields of endeavor, so does proper medical care help in safeguarding and promoting his physical and mental growth. The preservation of health is a duty. Few seem conscious that there is a thing as physical morality, are sagacious words worth noting here. Important utterances of HIM, page 260. Wise Mind Publications. 1. The preparation of an economic plan is only half the task, and perhaps not even that. The real test comes in the implementation, and here even the best of plans can be subverted and destroyed. 2. Once an overall economic plan is adopted, the nation's budget must be tailored to the implementation of the plan. A. Individual development projects must be fitted into the priorities established in the plan. B. Haphazard and ill-coordinated economic activity must be avoided at all cost. C. Investment must be controlled and directed as the plan dictates. D. And, most important, all of this must be accomplished in a co-coordinated and efficient fashion. 3. The responsibility for the success of the plan does not rest upon any single ministry or department.